Welcome to my channel, Game of Life 411, and welcome to my hip vlog, where I've documented everything that's happened to me and everything that I've learned throughout my hip journey from diagnosis to total hip replacement to 18 months post-op recovery, which is where I'm at today. I was diagnosed as needing total hip replacement just about 2 years ago, and coincidentally it was the same month that I started this YouTube channel, even though I'd been thinking about doing so for a couple years. I don't know if that's coincidence, that's above my pay grade. At any rate, what I found as I started documenting things is that there's a lot of misinformation and contradictory information out there when it comes to total hip replacement and recovery. My goal when I started this channel was to help others, but I never really imagined that my hip vlog would grow into what it has become. As I was doing my own research way back when, I was looking for information and I found lots of good one-off videos, but I didn't find any one channel or one place where I could get all my questions answered. And now, 18 months post-op, I'll have to say that I think my hip vlog is probably the most comprehensive resource for total hip replacement. Don't miss out on important future videos. Please subscribe now and turn notifications on. And make sure to watch to the end of the video where I'll introduce our new channel mascot, Nutless the Squirrel. So even though I'm not a medical professional, I've done a ton of research and I've participated in social media interacting with thousands of other hippies, and I've learned a lot. So whatever you take away from my videos, just remember that we're all unique and everybody's hip journey is going to be unique. So apply it to your situation as you see fit. You're in control. My hip vlog has evolved into a comprehensive resource for hippies of all ages. And it turns out that some of my earliest videos where, let's just say I wasn't exactly an expert at creating good video content, are some of my most popular. I think because they document the early stages of diagnosis and surgery and recovery, and other hippies are finding them very helpful. So whether you've already had your surgery, or perhaps you're planning on a surgery, or maybe you're planning on a second total hip replacement, I'm sure you'll find lots of helpful information in my hip vlog, and I hope you'll check it out and share it with others. My total hip replacement was 18 months ago this month, so to celebrate, I'm putting out two very important videos. This video is a quick guide to my hip vlog that'll help you find the videos that are most helpful to you wherever you are in your hip journey. With over 20 videos in my hip vlog, there's a lot of great content out there, but I'll point you to the videos that my viewers have found most helpful, and I'll point you to answers to the most frequently asked questions. In the other video, I've summarized the most important things that you need to know whether you're facing total hip replacement or already recovering from surgery. Please check it out and share it with other hippies. I've created a few playlists to make it easy for you to binge and rewatch the most important content in my hip vlog. I'll describe each playlist briefly now, but make sure to watch to the end of this video where I'll describe each video so you can get the most out of my hip vlog. My original playlist, called simply Hip Replacement Vlog, is where you'll find all of my videos in one place. I've got almost 30 hip-related videos, ranging in time frame from 3 months pre-op until 18 months post-op. The first playlist is called Hip Vlog Most Popular, and that's pretty easy to understand. It's kind of self-explanatory. These are the videos that my viewers find most helpful and keep watching and rewatching. So I would definitely suggest everyone watch these videos at least once. However, if you're more than 2 weeks post-op, you can skip the first two videos, unless you just want to compare it with your own experiences. The next playlist is called Hip Vlog Need to Know. I'm not a medical professional. Did I mention that already? But there's a lot of misinformation and inconsistent information out there from the medical profession as well as from other hippies on social media. I encounter people all the time who are doing things that might jeopardize the long-term success of their total hip replacements. And the scary part is, they might not feel the effects until several years later when they need revision surgery. So the videos in this playlist represent my attempts to find the best information possible. You need to know this information, and from there you can decide how to apply it to your own individual hip journey. Please watch these videos. It's worth the small investment in time to help increase the odds of a successful long-term life for your total hip replacement. The third and final playlist that I've created for you is called Hip Vlog Fitness. Whether you're fit and leading an active lifestyle, or just want to recover successfully from total hip replacement and get your life back, these videos are for you. Or maybe total hip replacement is a turning point for you, and you'd like to improve your fitness going forward. It's definitely doable. It's never too late. For example, I've been suffering with lower back pain for more than a year, and I've talked to all kinds of specialists to try and figure it out. I had x-rays, I had an MRI, etc. I even had an injection into my pelvis, thinking that it was an SI joint issue. Well, this week I was diagnosed with degenerative disc disease. Now, for most of my life, I hated doing ab exercises, anything to do with the abdominals. And until I was about 50, I really didn't do it because I'm telling you, I hated it. But when I was going to turn 50, I wanted to see if it were possible to maybe see a visible six-pack one time in my life, because I never had before. And so I started doing ab workouts and worked that into my regular fitness routine. And I got pretty close. I never did see that six-pack, but I did really come to appreciate the benefits of having a strong core. And I came to like doing the ab workouts. So now, 6 or 7 years later, they're actually a regular part of my workout routine several times a week. And guess what the doctor told me is one of the best ways to slow the progress of degenerative disc disease? Maintaining a strong core. So trust me, if I can learn to love abdominal exercises at age 50, then you can learn to love some form of exercise, and you'll love the benefits to your quality of life. Now let's go over some individual videos, starting with the ones in these playlists. If you're afraid or worried about your upcoming surgery, these next two videos might be helpful. The first video documents my day of surgery, and the second video documents the first week post-op. And there are some surprises to that first week post-op. If you haven't had your surgery yet, I would definitely suggest that you check out these two videos. And if you've already passed your first week post-op, then you might want to watch mine just to see how similar your experience was. This video on osseointegration or the healing timeline is probably one of my most important videos, and I would suggest everyone facing total hip replacement watch this. There is definitely some misinformation and no consensus about how long it takes to heal from total hip replacement, and specifically how long it takes for the implant to bond to your femur. I did a ton of research trying to find studies that would actually answer this question, and in this video I present the best research that I was able to find. So if you think that your implant is healed after 6 weeks or 2 months, then please check this out. And from there you can decide for yourself how to guide your own recovery. This post-op guide was a lot of fun to make, but it's long. It took a lot of effort because I was trying to compile everything from myself as well as input from a lot of other hippies. But to make it easier to navigate, I have chaptered it, and if you look in the video description, you should be able to navigate to the topics that interest you. So even though this is a very long video, it's also one of my most popular. When can I ditch my walker? When can I resume sports? When can I return to work? These and many questions are very common, and the answers vary a lot. So if you're curious what the answer is to most questions related to total hip replacement, watch this video. I think it'll help give you a good perspective on things. Everyone wants to get back to their favorite sport or activity, but we also want to do it wisely so that our hips will last for a very long time. So in this video, I talk about a practical approach to returning to just about any sport or activity, and I use my own examples. I wish you success getting back to all the things you love. This is the other video I put together to celebrate my 18-month post-op anniversary, and it represents all the most important pieces of information that you need to know if you're facing or recovering from total hip replacement. This is with 20/20 hindsight based on my own experiences 18 months post-op, as well as from interacting with thousands of other hippies on social media and on my YouTube channel. So wherever you are in your hip journey, this is important information that you need to know. Got thigh pain? Did you overdo it? It's hard to tell sometimes. I got some good advice when I had my total hip replacement. People kept saying, don't overdo it, you'll suffer a setback. And I tried really hard to avoid setbacks, and I tried really hard not to overdo it. And yet, I suffered several setbacks throughout the course of the last 18 months of my recovery. So I think that's just an indication of how hard it is to judge what's enough activity and what's too much. So in this video, I talk about the 3 setbacks that I had, and hopefully this helps you avoid having similar problems. Prehabbing is kind of like rehabbing, except you do it before a surgical procedure to try and make sure that your recovery is as smooth and successful as possible. So it has to do with being fit and exercising and doing things like that. So in this video, I talk about preparing by prehabbing so that you can have a successful surgery and recovery. In this video, I talk about how I was able to stay active while waiting for my hip replacement. Walking is the best thing you can do to recover from total hip replacement. This video documents my progress from day 1 until about 4 months post-op. So you can see when I switched from crutches to walking sticks and when I dropped the sticks and how my gait looked and all those sorts of things. So if you're wondering how things can progress, then please check it out. But always, please remember that our hip journeys are different and yours might be faster or slower than mine. I was committed to recovering from total hip replacement and regaining my fitness and getting back to the sports and activities that I loved. So during my recovery, I started exercising as soon as I thought it was prudent and with the blessing of my surgeon. So these two videos show the types of hip-friendly exercises and workouts that I was doing at different stages of my early recovery. I started my first workouts after my 2.5-week post-op visit with my surgeon, so it was pretty early in the process, and you can see that I just continued to steadily increase and improve from there. So if you'd like some ideas about hip-friendly exercises and activities, I hope you'll check them out. Got thigh pain? It might be an indication of a serious problem with your implant. In this video, I talk about a setback that I suffered at 6 months post-op. The doctor called it bone inflammation, and it was a bear. It took me several months to recover from that. So I put this video together to help others avoid this problem. This video talks about some strategies that helped me manage pain both leading up to surgery and post-op. And in my case, in particular, my problem was getting enough quality sleep. So if you're having trouble with sleep due to pain, then some of these strategies might help you, but they also might help just in general with figuring out how to best manage pain. In this video, I show the process of easing back into my little tiny sports car 4 weeks post-op. And it might seem like an odd video to make, but actually it took me about 10 days to get my range of motion and feel confident that I could get in, drive, and then get out of this vehicle. So if you've got a vehicle that's on the small side, this might actually be helpful to you. And if not, it's probably entertaining. If you haven't had your surgery yet, you might be struggling with when is the best time to do it, or are you at the point where you really should have total hip replacement, or should you wait? In this video, I talk through my decision-making process. This is shortly after I was diagnosed with a bad hip and needing total hip replacement. So if you're struggling with that decision, it might help to see how I talked it through and worked it out. I hated wearing compression socks after surgery, so when my surgeon cleared me to ditch them, I borrowed my son's home-built 3D printed flame gun and torched these suckers. So if you hated your compression socks, or if you just want a good laugh, check it out. This video is a pre-op checklist I put together with input from lots of other hippies. It'll tell you the things that you need to buy and the things that you need to do to prepare for surgery and a successful recovery. This video talks about the things that happened during the last 2 weeks before surgery. This is a time where you'll have to discontinue medication and prepare yourself and your home for your recovery. If you're struggling with which surgical approach is best for your total hip replacement, then this video might help you in that decision-making process. Many folks are curious about what it's like to fly after total hip replacement, so in this video I document my experience flying just a few months post-op. This video is a 1-year update. I was 1 year post-op and shared my monthly progress as well as lessons learned from my first year after total hip replacement. If you like hiking or walking, or if you just want a really fun, cool goal for your total hip replacement recovery, then consider something like the Camino Santiago. It's really a perfect hike, more of a walk on paved trails and roads, and it was a lot of fun. I did this at 6 months post-op, very achievable, and I'd highly recommend it. So if you want to learn more, check out this video. I've noticed there's often confusion about how we're sedated for total hip replacement, so if you're curious, check it out. This talks about how I was sedated, and my understanding is that the majority of total hip replacements are handled this way. If you're curious what it looks like 8 months post-op, then check out this update where I explain where I am in my recovery process.
It's your world and I'm just a squirrel trying to get a nut to move your butt.
Please subscribe now. You know you want to. And why not go nuts and set notifications on so you'll be notified every time I put out new content.